When I share problems and things that break and all of that, I'm taking the blame because I put a beating on everything that I use. Now guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, when you share a garage with a couple of 20 somethings and a 10-year-old, you can't find nothing. We got we got a race mower going here. Never mind the extra sawmill there. I mean, isn't that where you keep your pliers? We got a Miata autocross build going on here. This is dirt bike corner over here. So guys, it never fails. When it's go time and stuff's gotta get done, that's when I break something. Today's no different. It was literally just yesterday I saw a meme about wearing noise canceling headphones. It showed mower deck bearings screaming, but the rider couldn't hear because they were wearing noise canceling headphones. I talk about wearing ear protection, and lately I have started wearing my noise canceling earbuds while I mow. But when I saw that meme, I decided to put it on the setting where you can still hear some of the ambient noise so that it lowers the sound but it doesn't shut it off, because I thought about the fact that, you know, if there's something wrong or something squealing or whatever, I need to be able to hear it. And that's how I spotted this and stopped it, hopefully in time to not do any damage. Hopefully. So guys, sometimes I go looking for reasons to make videos, and I will look for topics that I think will be popular or go over well. But sometimes the video topics just come to me because, you know, the Kubota BX is featured on the channel a lot, and anytime I can come up with a tip or a trick or something like that, I try to share it with you guys. Well, today, this is one of those things that I honestly wouldn't have even thought to check. So I wanted to share with you guys what happened to mine so that the next time you are doing maintenance to your mower deck, you'll check these and make sure that this doesn't happen to you. I was doing my mowing today, and I actually mowed the entire yard, and then I went up on the hill and I started mowing the pasture that's going to be the wedding venue. And I got that pasture mowed, and so I thought, well, I'll pop over to the wood yard and I'll mow around the sawmill shed just to finish knocking that out. So I was on my very last pass around that circle when all of a sudden I started hearing some kind of whirring / roaring, which I was certain was a spindle bearing. It was the same noise that I'm used to when a mower deck spindle bearing goes out. So I knew I didn't need to finish what I was doing. I shut the mower off and headed on down the hill here. I got the hose out and I sprayed everything off, cleaned it up. And as I was spraying the grass off, I started finding bolts and washers and nuts, and I had a pretty good idea what they were going to belong to. I started taking off these spindle covers to get to the culprit, and I found that the bolts had fallen out of the pulley to the spindle. So here's what we've got. Now, it's quite obvious that they have been loose for a little while, because those holes are a little bit egg-shaped, and I seriously doubt they came that way. I don't see, other than the oval-shaped holes, I don't see any major damage. So I think all this is going to involve is taking my spring tensioner off my belt, taking the belt off, lining this pulley back up, and putting bolts back in it. I think I may be missing one or missing one nut. I don't remember the inventory on that. But I think it's going to be a pretty easy fix, since I didn't run it very long and I found most of the parts associated with it. So while I've got the mower deck off and everything exposed here, I decided I might as well bring it in the shop here and pull a brad and sharpen my mower blades, since it's been 2 years since I sharpened my mower blades. I'll sharpen the mower blades, I'll check the gearbox oil, and I'll go ahead and grease the spindles, and I'll go over all the bolts and nuts and make sure they're tight, because I am down to 2 weeks until wedding time. I've got lots of mowing to keep up with until then, so I can keep things looking nice. And the last thing I need is for this to happen the week of the wedding and cause me to not be able to get the mowing done in time. I'm gonna get to work on putting this back together, and I will kind of share with you the process and how it works, and make sure that this fix is going to take care of our problem. The bearing feels fine, so I think we're gonna be okay. So easy enough to get the belt off, and the bearing itself in the spindle feels good. So I'm gonna get the bolts back in this thing, get it tightened up, and then we'll go about the other maintenance real quick. Remember how I mentioned the other day that I was starting my bolt collection by picking up extra bolts from Rural King by the pound? Well, that's gonna come in handy today because I have plenty of the right size M8 nuts and lock washers or split washers and bolts if I needed them. All right, now I am going to put this belt back on to help me hold this spindle to get these good and tight. If you get you a big screwdriver, get everything lined up here, and then get your fingers back, you just pull that right down around it and you're on. One right there is wanting to spin on me. There we go. Okay, it's time to do some greasing. Now guys, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, when you share a garage with a couple of 20-somethings and a 10-year-old, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and blame Isaac, even though he hadn't been here very long, because he's already starting to pile over in the corner over here. You can't find nothing. We got look, we got a race mower going here. Never mind the extra sawmill there. We'll talk about that later sometime. That's just a bonus for you sawmill fans that are watching my tractor content. We got a Miata autocross build going on here. This is dirt bike corner over here. Yeah, and then tools and stuff laid out around every one of these projects. So it's no wonder I can't find my grease gun. But I will tell you, and I won't name any names, but I felt a lot better after I visited Brock's place, because Brock spends most of his time looking for tools too. Oh, wait. Sorry, Brock. I mean, isn't that where you keep your pliers? I don't know why he'd need a grease gun in the middle of the Bondo work. So, oh, that's another one we haven't introduced you to yet. We'll get to it. Am I making any of you guys feel better now? Or are y'all just about to unsubscribe and say this guy needs to get his stuff together? You know what? I just figured out where it was. It's on the service truck. Which makes perfect sense now that I found it. So I guess all the guys that I blamed, it's not their fault this time. That's it. All right, so take it from me, the guy who has a super clean, super organized garage that takes really good care of his stuff. No, none of that is me. You want to check the bolts in your spindle pulleys to make sure that they stay tight. Every time you maintain your deck, check those bolts, because this could have very easily been an expensive failure. I'm just really glad that we caught it in time. Now, guys, I will also go ahead and tell you, even though I am shopping for a bigger tractor, I am not looking to replace my Kubota BX. I still love my Kubota BX for what it's designed for, but I use it way too hard on a lot of the things that I'm doing. Now, the mower deck, this is just one of those things that, you know, I should have been checking those when I was checking everything else. Now I know, and I'll keep up with those. But this mower deck, I'm going to tell you, the things that I mow with this, the rocks that I hit, the stumps that I hit, and the fact that I'm still on the original blades, I'm thrilled with this mower deck. So when I share problems and things that break and all of that, I'm taking the blame, because I put a beating on everything that I use, and I share that with you guys. But I also kind of do that so that we can find the weak spots, and I can share those things with you guys. And you know, making the content helps me pay for some of those repairs and all of those things. So I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you find it useful. Until next time, man, get outside and enjoy God's creation, because it's beautiful out there. And y'all have a good day.